Hello everyone, today let's solve the problem number 226, invert binary tree. Right, so what the question states here, we have been given a root of the binary tree, we have to invert the trees and return its root. Right, so we have been given a root of the binary tree. Let's come to the example one here. So we have to invert it and return it. Right, so here you can clearly see the root 4271369. Right, this is fine. So output here is, first we have to invert this part, right? So root children subchildren here, this is fine. So when we invert this one, this will be 7 2. So that's what they have shown in the figure, right? So here these two nodes in the subchildren, this one gets interchanged to this one here as it belongs to the root 2, right? So this one gets interchanged to this one and these two children gets interchanged to this one, right? So here in this case 9 6 moves towards this one and 3 1 moves towards this one. And when we invert this one, what it becomes, so here in this case we have 3 1. When we invert this one, it will become 1 3. And when we invert 9 and 6, it will become 6 and 9. So that's what they have clearly shown in the figure. The final output here is 4 7 2 and then 9 6 3 1. 4 7 2 9 6 3 1. So that's what they have given in the output, right? Let's come to the second example here. In this case as well, so we have 4 2 2 1 3, right? 2 1 3 we have. So root remains same here, and the children here in this case nodes, child nodes here 3 1. When we invert this one, we get 1 3, right? So 1 3, this is fine. So this will be basically 2 3 and 1, sorry. So we are converting 1 3 to 3 1, right? So 1 3 becomes basically 3 1, sorry, I got confused here. This is fine. So output will be 2 3 1, this is fine. So the next the final example here is root they have given here. Output is root they have given empty, it doesn't consist of any node. So then the output will be empty array as well, right? So simple. So they have given 3 examples wonderfully just for us to understand, right? So this is fine. I hope the complete so I hope the question is completely clear, and what we need to do is completely clear as well. First let's discuss the approach, followed by the edge cases one by one, and then finally write the code and discuss the complexities for the code that we have written. Initially, as usual, let's discuss the approach first. So first thing that we need to keep in mind here is we will be going with the recursion, right? So we'll be going with the recursion. So the next step here is, I have considered the first example that they have given in the question, so that it will be easier to understand the approach, right? The same example. I mean the first example that they have given in the question, 4 2 7 1 3 6 9. We have already discussed this one, right? So we had here in this case 4 2 7 1 3 6 9. So when we invert this one, so 4 root remains same. The child nodes here, this will be 7 2. When we invert, this is fine. So 1 3. So these two nodes belongs to 2 actually. This moves here, right? Actually belongs to, yeah, this belongs to 7 basically, sorry, and this belongs to 2 here. This moves here. So 6 9. When we invert that one, we get 9 6, and 1 3. When we invert this one, we get 3 1. This is fine. This is the output. So 4 7 2 7 2 9 6 3 1 9 6 3 1. This is the output that we got. Let's discuss the step by step execution here. First we will start at root 4, right? So first we will start at root 4, this one, and here we will swap left nothing but 2 and right nothing but 7. So here I am speaking of this one basically. Left nothing but 2, right, so yeah, left nothing but 2 here, right nothing but 7 here, right? So when we swap, we get 7 and 2 here. This is fine. Now left is 7, right is 2. Now left is 7, right is 2. This is fine. So let's come to the second step here. We will move to node 7. Now we will move to node 7. This one I'm speaking of. Move to node 7. This is 7, right? This is 2. This is fine. So we will swap 6 and this one 9 means left and right, 6 and 9. So let me come here in this case, 6 and 9 means here quite obviously for 7 the nodes get interchanged, right, along with the child nodes. For the child node 7 we have subnodes, this one 6 and 9. So here 6 and 9, when we swap 6 and 9, it will be left will be 9, right will be 6, means 9 and 6 it will be. So that's what here, this one I'm speaking of. When we swap this one, 9 and 6, same goes with 2. Next we will come to 2 and we will swap with this one 1 and 3. When we swap 1 and 3, it becomes 3 and 1, right? When we swap 1 and 3, it becomes 3 and 1. So that's what we will move to node 2, swap left 1 and right 3 here in this case. Left will be 3, right will be 1 in this case. So final tree will be quite obviously what it will be, 4 7 2 9 6 3 1, right here 4 7 2 9 6 3 1. So this is the final tree which is equivalent to the output that they have given for the question, that they have given for the example 1 and the question 4729631. So our approach works absolutely correct in this case, right? So our approach works absolutely correct in this case. Now we are completely familiar with the approach. As we are familiar with the approach, let's move on with the edge cases. Let's discuss edge cases one by one in this case, right? So the first edge case is for the empty tree. So here you can clearly see we don't have any nodes here, so the output will be empty as well in this case, right? So here nothing, we got nothing to invert here, right? So the output will be empty array. So let's move on with the second edge case here, nothing but single node. When I say single node, we have only one node or we have one element within the array, right? So this is fine. So in this case, we don't have any left or right child to swap, right? So that is the reason we will just return the same element as output. In this case, it will be 1, right? This is fine. So let's go with the third edge case or skewed tree. Skewed tree, it can be either all left nodes or all right nodes, right? So this is basically left skewed tree. This is basically right skewed tree I have considered here. So this is all left nodes, nothing but left skewed tree. This is nothing but all right nodes, nothing but right skewed tree in this case. So root, we have the value 1 2 null 3 null, right? 1 2 null. So this one 1 2, again this will be null, basically we are not considering right one. So 1 null. So this is all left nodes, right? So just give me a second here. Yeah, 1 2 null, again 3 null, right? So here in this case on left skewed tree, right? Output will be, when we swap this one, this comes this side 1 2 3. So this will be 1 null, this becomes null, right? We don't have anything. 1 null 2, and this also becomes null here in this case, right? 1 null 2 null 3, right? So that's what we got the output here, left skewed tree. So for the right skewed tree, same thing, but here instead we have the right one, 1 null 2 null 3 here in this case. When we swap this one, this becomes 1 2 null, this becomes null basically, 3 again null in this case, right? Again null in this case. So this becomes here in this case 1 2 null 3 null. So that's what we got output here, 1 2 null 3 null. So these are the 4 edge cases that we need to keep in mind here. So the first one is for the empty tree, the second one is for the single node, the third one is for skewed tree, and the fourth one is for the left skewed tree, and the fourth one is for the right skewed tree, right? I hope all the edge cases are clear here, right? So now we are completely familiar with the approach as well as the edge cases. As we are familiar with the approach as well as edge cases, let's start writing the code. So initially, let's go with the base case. We have already discussed this one in the edge case, right? So if the node is null, we have to return null in that case. The node is null, we have to return null in this case. First edge case we discussed, right? So here, the base case, if node is null, then we have to return null. This is fine. So the next thing here is, if you remember, we have to store the left child temporarily. Then we will swap, right? So we will assign right subtree to left, and we will assign temp to the right. So for that one, we'll be considering here this one, temp variable. So I'll just go with here tree node. Let me make use of temp variable here, root dot Let me assign this one to the root dot left. This is fine. The next step is we have to swap. Nothing but we have to assign right subtree to left. I'll just give here root dot left. We are going with the recursion, right? So here I'll just copy this one function invert tree of this one root dot right. Nothing but we are assigning the right subtree to the left. So and now also we have to swap. In this step also we have to swap. Nothing but we have already considered temporary variable, right? So we will assign temp nothing but left to the right. For that purpose itself we have made use of the temporary variable. So I'll just give here root dot right here in this case. So invert tree, this one function name, as we are going with the recursion, this one will be temp. This is fine. The final step is we have to return the modified root. We have to return the modified root. Nothing but inverted binary tree we have to return. In this case, this will be root. So this is it for the code. Let me format the code once and let me hit the run button. Let's see. I hope this works. So yeah, you can clearly see the sample test cases are getting passed. Means the code works absolutely correct in this case. So let me hit the submit button. Let's see whether this works for all the test cases or not. So you can clearly see here all the test cases are getting passed. Means the code works absolutely correct in this case, right? So yeah, this is it for the code, right? So as we are familiar with this one, as we have completely written the solution, let's discuss the complexities for the code that we have written. So now we know that the approach that we went with here is basically recursion or recursive tree inversion. You can call it either way, right? So in simple words, you can just call the approach name as recursion. As we went with the recursion, the overall time complexity would be big O of n, right? Because we are visiting each node exactly once. We are visiting each node exactly once and then swapping it, right? So visiting each node exactly once. So the overall time complexity here would be big O of n. So what would be the space complexity here? The space complexity would be big O of h. Why it is big O of h here? Because we are making use of the recursive stack space. We are going with the recursion, right? The approach. So we are making use of the recursive stack space here, where h is nothing but the height of the tree. Here, h is nothing but height of the tree here, right? So big O of log n, it is big O of log n for the balanced tree, whereas big O of n for the skewed tree. In the worst case, it is big O of n for the skewed tree. So overall space complexity, we can just consider here big O of h, right? So we can consider big O of h here. The time complexity would be big O of n and the space complexity would be big O of h in this case, or for the code that we have written, the time complexity is big O of n and the space complexity is big O of h. I hope the complexities are clear, and I hope whatever the code that we have written is completely clear as well, right? For now, this is it. Thanks for watching, guys.